that night, and I had sex with 3 different women. I came home and she was murdered. I shot to kill her, one bullet after the other.
Here we are. let's examine.
Cut to credits.
We have nothing to say. We have nothing to say. We're speechless.
I was speechless during most of this film, yeah.
I just want to examine the choices that led us here. Because we watched this movie for a very specific reason.
Yeah.
It's because we're familiar with things.
Jay and I are on the record as being big fans.
I am pro things.
Yes.
We are anti-things.
I have said before that Attack of the Clones is the worst movie relative to its budget. And the reason I put the disclaimer relative to its budget when I talk about bad movies is because Things was the actual worst movie I had ever seen.
But emphasis on was.
Was.
We should point out Things, we did that on Half in the Bag.
What the fuck you talking about?
And then the Things take over the house, and our characters wander around and occasionally worry about it in between sitting in the kitchen and wanting to drink beer or take naps.
The Things, they sit on the stove, or they sit on the toilet, or they sleep in the basement.
That's it.
Long time ago, we talked about Things because we used to watch it on our movie nights, which is what led to Best of the Worst.
That was the precursor to Best of the Worst, yeah. Oddly enough, that Half in the Bag episode, we brought Palpatine into it.
That's right.
Once more, I will place an ad on Craigslist. Shit.
And now Palpatine is dead because Rey deflected his lightning bolts back at his face.
Into his face.
Until he gets reincarnated again in the next sequels, Mike. You know how
my
this
point
works.
is, we brought Palpatine back before Disney.
Yeah.
But we said, oh, okay, Things, love or hate it, it's a very fascinating movie. And so we said, hey, let's do a spotlight on director Barry J. Gillis's new film. It just came out on Blu-ray. It had never seen the light of day before.
It was never released, and I don't know why. I'm not sure.
I must say, you make quite the hot dog, sweetheart.
Oh, yeah, well, we could say this is from the good people at AGFA, who are film preservers.
What are AGFA?
They're like film
American
preservers.
Genre Film Archive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after this, can they be now classified as a terrorist organization?
Possibly.
I hate slides.
I came prepared for this. I actually wore my Caliber Press Surviving Edged Weapons t-shirt because I was afraid after watching this I might want to cut myself.
Rich, if we learned anything from this film, it's that violence just creates more violence.
But violence is unavoidable, Jay.
But don't hurt yourself like poor Barry J. Gillis at the end of this film. Spoilers.
Have hope. Have hope for the computer chips that will remove all violence from society.
Implanted in your brains by the U.S. government.
Coming soon.
Even though today...
Oh my god. This is insane. This is insane.
There is still hope. Don't commit suicide. You can get a chip implanted in your
There
brain.
is still hope that somebody can make a computer chip that will control us. That's the hope.
Do you think that was the seed of the idea? Because that's at the end of the movie. Barry J. Gillis commits suicide, and then we get this text. Was that like he heard about that somewhere, and that was the seed that planted the idea of this film in his brain?
There's all sorts of crazy going on in this film.
Yeah.
The best part of that, though, is the positive spin on having a chip implanted in your brain to control your actions.
Yeah, no more violence.
Usually that's the paranoid thing. Oh my God, they're going to put the chips in our brains. Not this film.
Yeah, Barry J. Gillis is like, everybody relax. Your mind is going to be controlled and everything will be good.
Well, it's a very Canadian spin on a conspiracy theory.
Yes, that's true.
Well, the film is not just about suicide violence. It's generalized murder. There's some lobotomies. There's suicide pacts in it. There's a guy in a wheelchair who's trying to mug a guy who's walking.
Yes.
Give me all the money in your pocket, you bastard. I got a lot of friends.
What?
Is he mugging the guy in a wheelchair?
No, the guy in the wheelchair was trying to mug him.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
There's attempted murder that gets interrupted by another murderer. That's the famous opening scene of the film.
Right. And a wonderful message about abstinence.
What the fuck?
Jesus.
You tell your brother to leave?
That's where he lives.
He's definitely in the same room. Those are the same
he's
end
on the other-
tables.
I think he's right out of frame.
He's supposed to be on the other side of the table.
He's somewhere between 3 feet and 5 miles away.
It could be in another house with coincidentally the same furniture.
Sure.
And
This is actually, he's watching this on TV. It just looks like the exact same room.
oh,
He's got a gun.
uh-oh.
Oh.
What the fuck is
Oh, they're at a
Neil
house
Patrick
party.
Harris? Couple making out on a couch, gets super naked. The guy, there's all sorts of pelvic thrusting going on.
And this guy just watching. And we don't know where this guy is in relation to anything.
Yeah, because there's no establishing shot.
He has a gun in his pocket for some reason.
He keeps taking it in and out of his pocket. He's not sure when to use it.
This is the worst family reunion ever.
This is a wild sex party.
Oh, that's the killer.
I love you, but...
Oh,
Not that kind of girl.
She wants to save it for marriage.
Janet, come on. This is the 90s.
So then after his sister, who's been grinding on this guy for like the last 10 minutes, gets up and walks away to take a shower, you know, in the middle of their makeout session.
Right, at
In the middle
the
of a party.
Then the brother stands up and says, "Are you fucking my sister?"
To which I believe the answer is not right now.
Yeah. Well, she proclaims like, oh, well, we've gone far enough tonight. She's taken everything off.
I'm stripped completely naked in front of her friends.
Oh, and the whole time there's a guy wearing a gas mask just standing in the window.
Just over there.
Right there for everybody to see.
Yeah.
But they don't see him. That's for our, we see it. As an audience, we know what's
Because
happening.
they don't turn
They
around.
don't.
They clearly see him.
No, but they don't.
They don't.
They clearly see he's
I know,
right
he's
there.
very visible.
You can't miss him.
He's extremely. He's lit very well, but no, they don't see.
So, Brad, are you fucking my sister or what? What does do you
Apparently, what is the answer here? What?
Oh my God!
What the fuck just happened?
But then Michael Cera starts shooting everyone in the room with a little tiny cap gun.
It was about this big.
Yes.
This is when we're introduced to the experimental editing techniques of the film.
I've had it. I've just had it with this wicked world. He said his last words, now you say yours.
I'd like to become a famous actress. You can't get me into you tonight. A model, an actress, please.
Oh my God!
What the special effects.
What a spooky night.
The guy says, don't kill her, kill me. And then the girl pleads with him that she wants to be an actress or a singer.
And then she's
or
too young
possibly
to
a model.
die.
Oh, she wants to be an actress. I got bad news for you, honey.
You're in a Barry J. Gillis production.
This is where acting careers come to die.
So he shoots her, and he's just about to shoot himself when all of a sudden, the guy with the gas mask is indoors.
Well, he awkwardly kind of rubs his arms around the brother with the gun's neck.
And
that kills him somehow.
Yeah, there's a googly googly noise on the soundtrack.
It's an attempt at style. That's what I'll say about this movie. There's lots of attempts at some sort of style.
That's why I say this movie reminded me of like the love child between Ed Wood, John Waters, and Quentin Tarantino.
Sure.
There's attempts at style, there's attempts at Tarantino. It's not linear, it's trying to be stylish. I don't know what it is, but something about the nurse and the guy in the wheelchair and playing around with the handcuffs just made me think of John Waters, and I'm not entirely sure why.
Well, it has that, like, it's grungy looking.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a home movie, but they're trying to make a movie.
And then Ed Wood because it sucks.
Through my story, people will learn that we live in an unsafe world. This nurse is an idiot.
Well, before we do that, just the general synopsis is the old guy, he just finds groups of people and then he kills them over and over and over again, intercut with the wheelchair sections. And then near the end, there's a crooked cop who wants revenge. That's the overview.
Yeah.
The Newt Gingrich is the killer. Barry J. Gillis is the cop. His ex-girlfriend gets killed by the killer, and he goes after revenge in present day. And present day is the killer in the wheelchair.
Now, there are possibly 2 cops or 3. There
are definitely at least 2.
Yeah. There's Barry J. Gillis plays the frozen meat store robber. Oh no, you're gonna suffocate.
No, that's not for babies. That's not for babies.
That's not how that works. You're doing it wrong, sir. That plastic bag on his head.
Oh, didn't block the. No,
He sounds like the Mandalorian.
And he never takes that plastic bag off his head.
It's part of my code of ethics.
This is the way.
This is the way. Oh God! And then there's the cop who lives next door to Newt Gingrich and his wife and his daughter.
That's also Barry J. Gillis.
That's also Barry J. Gillis.
How you doing? I'm your new next door neighbor. I thought I'd introduce myself.
What the fuck was that?
The movie's broken.
He's moved in just after the Newt Gingrich's 3 daughters have committed suicide.
We know all this because somebody in the shot says it, but we don't know who.
The wife does. She goes, he's in a bad mood because last week all 3 of his daughters killed themselves. Would you like a hot dog?
Don't mind my husband, Harold. His 3 daughters from his first marriage committed suicide last week. And he hates everything now more than ever. And he especially hates how we send money to other countries when people on our own streets are starving to death.
What is this?
Oh, are they in a crime-ridden neighborhood?
Is that what that
Is that
is?
just the background?
Is that what's supposed to be happening?
There was like a lion or something.
I thought it was a war zone.
I am fucking lost.
I think they're just living in a bad neighborhood.
I'm your new neighbor. Give me a hot dog. Bye.
Sorry, all 3 of your daughters committed suicide last week.
Newt is watering the grass, and he's like, why did you tell him about my daughters? And she's like, fuck you, I'm leaving you. And then they go in the house.
Meanwhile, audio from World War II is playing.
I've had enough of you.
Oh, it's water.
It's like he just had this footage of these people in the backyard and made a scene with voiceover.
Yeah, that's possible.
18 Roger. 34 people.
I want to see that neighborhood.
What?
I don't know how much more of this I can take. It's giving me anxiety.
He leaves after getting his hot dog. Many scenes later, I think it's the same cop
Yes.
who, with his partner, solicit a prostitute.
This is more social commentary.
Yes.
This is surveillance footage?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's edited? He says something about we're going to make a lot of money off of this tape.
Yes, and there's a person videotaping. It's a police surveillance tape that the chief is showing them because he caught them in the act murdering a prostitute.
And taping it
And taping
independently.
it, yes, intentionally to try to set up the guys on the roof who are smoking pot.
Is that his voice coming out, or is that on speakerphone?
I think it's speakerphone now. I'm really not sure what's going on.
But we don't want the black community? What is he talking about?
Political things. The mayor's saying political things and worrying about the political ramifications of things.
Yes.
Of what? Who's this now?
It's the same audio again?
But the gruff mayor or whoever it is on the voiceover is saying, like, we don't want the black community to get upset.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was mainly the black guy because he's the one who targeted and he was like punching him.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
I want your badges and your guns.
So I think that was just out of context. That was just also in this wicked world is police corruption.
Yeah.
And police planting evidence and being racist.
Yeah.
That was one piece of this whole wicked world, and it had nothing to do with anything else in the movie.
And so that's when Barry leaves after having been fired, apparently has sex with 3 different women off screen, goes home and finds his murdered girlfriend.
He shoots Newt Gingrich like 100 times in the chest, but he survives and ends up in a mental hospital where they give him a lobotomy, and then he gets pushed around a children's playground.
This is all explained in a non-linear fashion.
And
too.
Awkwardly handcuffed to a slide, like painstakingly.
Oh, God.
Move
Rail
this,
by
move
rail,
this,
move him up, move the handcuff, reattach up there after the other bar, and then slowly get him up to the
But then
top.
ultimately, when it's time for him to slide down, she just unlocks the fucking cuffs anyway, and then he just slides down.
That was his moment to escape.
Well, he
He had a lobotomy.
He's not going anywhere.
I know.
That's a damn good question.
I guess that does confirm though, because the whole movie there's a voiceover narration,
Yes.
and we were it's like a fake British accent.
A nightmare would not tell it all. So now I will delete the nightmare from the story and let's add a scene instead.
And we were never sure who it was, but I think in that scene you do hear the voiceover say, "I hate slides."
Yeah, and when she
so that
pushes him-
voiceover is him.
When she pushes him in front of the swings, I hate swings.
Yeah.
I hate nurses. So it's got to be him.
But he's also talking about what's going on like it's a fictional story.
I'm going to delete this nightmare from the story and put a scene in the story between the killer and his psychiatrist.
And that's not a narration of what happened.
Yeah.
That's a narration of what you want to happen as told from the present about things that have already happened.
Maybe this is a cautionary tale about the use of chips in your brain to quell your violence. Maybe he was the first recipient of it.
They gave you a brain operation, and I'm just as insane as you, but in other ways.
When he's in the baby swing, we also get text on the screen.
Yes.
That's another time that happens.
Yeah.
That also, and that happened initially at when Newt Gingrich follows some fun havers out to the lake.
Yes.
Where they meet up with some other fun havers.
Let's set that scene up. That's an important sequence.
I think it is.
When I was young, all I knew was love. Then when I was 7, my mother and father divorced, and I watched my mother hang herself with a telephone cord.
They're having a lovely day out.
Ever since that time, I realized that at any moment, you could die.
Yeah.
Any moment,
It's coming up, kids.
You know, when I was young, I waved at the birds in the sky, and all I knew was great things and great thoughts. But now I know there's hatred and violence.
It's important to note that the one girl, they're both wearing their bathing suits under their clothing.
Yes.
But the one girl climbs onto an unstable log in order to remove her clothes.
I think he just wanted to get a low shot of her. That's the only thing I can think of that makes any kind of sense out of disrobing on a log.
Okay, now go over there and rub your friend with whiskey.
I was thinking it was honey.
We didn't bring any.
They're trying to attract bears.
So, and during this whole time, by the way, the soundtrack is just cranked.
I know. I know.
It tickles. It's cool.
It's all very natural.
Extremely natural.
It's a literal wild track. It's because it's animals.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
So
We all get it.
Yeah.
Laugh. Laugh at my jokes.
Oh, I can't wait to get you alone in the woods. Get that bathing suit off you.
Oh no.
How romantic.
This is how Canadians court.
They have to find a better spot to have sex in.
They want to be private in the dirty weeds with ticks and poison ivy.
Yeah, they go off to get Lyme disease.
One girl goes off, but there's just text at the top of the screen that says, and she's not very faithful to her boyfriend.
Yes.
What the?
What?
Oh,
Who is that in reference to?
the girl who's going to get the Frisbee now. They have to give a reason why Newt Gingrich is going to kill her.
This is unprecedented.
What?
And he forgot. This is unprecedented. How bad this is, yeah.
The question is, though, why was it text on a screen?
Because they didn't have line and they didn't have a way of communicating it.
Does it even make a difference, though?
Why didn't they have him overdub it like he's been overdubbing everything else?
He could have had the British guy say, she cheated on her man. Yeah, see here, she gets her comeuppance for cheating on her man.
But how does he know that she does that?
Well, we have the second party scene. There's first party scene, then there's second party scene where they're playing the Irish music.
And they get done watching Things.
Yes. They're
Oh
watching
yeah,
things.
we see a lot of things.
A guy is slow dancing with a girl, and then a ginger kid is weightlifting.
Yeah, and this is after there was the couple that went to have sex, kind of.
Oh, they were so
boring.
excited.
Oh, the boring sex.
Okay, well, I have sex now, I guess.
Don't look that excited about it. Oh, she's just changing. That's okay.
Oh. I think they are having sex.
They are.
She's just very bored about it. So is he.
Yeah.
No. He's there too.
Sure. Whoops.
Couldn't even be bothered to try.
Yeah. Can we talk about how quiet this killer is?
Yeah.
How unnoticed he goes throughout the entire movie. No one hears him going, through the woods, which certainly would have some sort of noises associated with it.
Well, it was drowned out by all the geese and frogs.
That's fair.
He somehow makes the victims quiet too. When he kills the bored sex couple, they don't make a noise.
No, well, they're that bored.
He's got brand new memory foam shoes that they got at the old folks' home.
He fires guns. Nobody hears his guns.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Look, it's a wicked world. People are so used to these sounds they don't even react to it anymore.
That's true.
Oh, God, that might actually be a...
It's a wicked world.
Part of the motif in the film. Now, can we talk about Newt Gingrich's therapist? Because that's a whole other ball.
I don't know where this is in the timeline of events either. I have no clue.
All sorts of ideas. Ideas about violence. Ideas about killing.
What kind of a deranged individual are you? For 6 months you've been coming here and telling me all these sick stories about killing other people. You can't go on living like that.
Is that the psychiatrist?
Yeah.
That's how you talk to a patient?
No, I would never hurt anyone, not unless they deserved it.
What therapist sits on the couch with you?
And calls you a sick fuck.
This is before we saw the bad cops kill with the prostitute and get fired. It was before we saw that.
This is after Slide, but before Swing.
Is
that true?
He was in the wheelchair, and the narration said, wait, I want to take out a scene with the cop, and I want to have a scene with a psychiatrist instead.
Do you have other patients like me, or am I the only one with such wicked thoughts?
I actually feel like I'm going to throw up. From like brain trauma.
Old people like you, sick people like you don't deserve to live on this planet.
That's some good therapy. Hey.
She's direct. That's what therapy is missing. Just oh my God.
Sorry to have to be like this.
Oh. When does the chase take place? Before or after? Or no, because he kills
He kills her in the therapy session. So she still had the therapy session with him, even though he tried to murder her in a dirty warehouse.
I guess.
It seems that way.
We're cutting back and forth between these two events.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that she's a very terrible therapist.
Terrible or great?
She's like, you're fucking crazy, dude.
The guy has no qualms about shooting people.
No.
For some reason, as therapist, he chokes with a doctor's coat.
He's not very choosy about his methods.
No. There's a lot of different methods.
Yeah, there's the bat, there's the gun.
Machete.
Yeah.
He seems to prefer choking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He double chokes the couple that are dancing.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works,
It's
but
not possible. Whoops.
They just don't even notice.
He's choking It doesn't work that way.
I mean, he'd be protected by his hockey hair, first off.
This movie should have starred David Carradine. Because he's such a good actor.
Yeah. Yeah, he really went about some gravitas to
Yeah.
the whole thing.
David Carradine didn't enjoy choking other people, Rich. He enjoyed choking himself.
You don't know that, Mike.
Well, he didn't enjoy it at the end.
Why can't you just forget about her and the killer and everything?
I can never forget.
Oh my God!
Mike, you're missing so much! You're missing everything! You've missed everything and it happened! All of the things!
So the killer is going to be let out of prison, or out of the institute, wherever he is. Mm-hmm. And Barry J. Gillis said he's going to kill him.
Okay.
And his Indian girlfriend said, "No, don't kill him. Get over it." And then he shot her. He shot her in the face.
because he can never forget.
He can never forget. I'm trying to think. I mean, the way we're explaining it, it sounds like it makes sense. But the events that we're explaining do not happen in chronological order.
No.
It's very confusing.
We find out all this stuff about the cop Barry J. Gillis way towards the end.
Yeah, that's like in the last half hour.
Yeah.
It would make sense if all the events were tied together. I was wondering about Newt's 3 daughters and the reason
for
their suicide pact.
Why does anyone ever commit suicide? I will never understand. It is one of the tragedies of our world.
It's mentioned earlier on, and then later on we see a scene where there's 2 women in the woods One looks like she just came from the gym. One looks like she just came from her corporate job.
Yeah.
She's got high heels on and like stockings and
Black
just
skirt.
Like the black skirt. She looks professional. And we're like, and they're roasting marshmallows. And then we discover Barry J. Gillis has a marshmallow fetish, which is now a thing.
Eat them slower.
Ladies eating a whole partially melted marshmallow.
Yeah, well then there's the other shot. There's the shot of Newt Gingrich with all the pudding falling out of his
Oh,
mouth.
God!
Yes.
Oh, that's the most disgusting thing in the film.
It is.
Yeah.
Stop feeding him!
Get in there! Yeah!
But anyway, the three women, or the two women are there at the campfire. The other one's coming down the hill, and what's going on?
Well, we thought it was the prostitute that got beat up.
It might have been the same actress.
Who knows?
But she has a package hidden in the woods. I thought it was heroin because we thought it was the prostitute. Turns out it was a gun, a child's water gun Uzi that they used to all commit suicide.
It turns out these are the daughters of Newt Gingrich.
No, not like that.
Oh, no, that's
not where you kill yourself.
Oh, jeez.
It worked.
Suckers!
Get away from me, weirdos.
Yeah,
What brought them to that point?
I don't know.
What is the scene?
Because
where
it's a wicked world.
Where do we see Newt Gingrich actually snap? When does that happen?
Oh, well, that happens when his wife is about to leave him after he's watering the lawn.
That's his breaking point.
That's his breaking point, for
She
sure.
gave away one of his hot dogs.
And he talked to another, or she talked to another man.
Oh, right.
He was like, I said you shouldn't talk to another man. She's like, we're leaving. And then he shoots them indoors.
Yeah. you hear horrible sounds coming from their house. A little girl, too.
Yeah.
And, oh, that's the other thing is that endless crying in that scene that doesn't seem to be actually attached to the little girl. And every time that Newt Gingrich is chasing a woman, there's just every scream sound effect that Barry J. Gillis can conjure up.
That's in the random dorm room scene.
Where he delivers a pizza box filled with guts.
There's two girls arguing about something, and we can't tell because it's recorded on Thomas Edison's first recorder.
It's too bad the only microphone they had was a telephone that day.
Sounds like a 911 call.
And then Newt Gingrich comes in with a pizza delivery.
It's double-wide pizza box.
Yeah, we see the actual pizza that the crew or the actors
Whatever was in the
removed.
box, they took it out so they could put the
in the
guts
oven.
in, but they just left it in the shot. And this is where he gets his famous gas mask.
Ooh,
it's
the
hanging in this dorm room kitchen for some reason.
He gets it halfway through the movie. He was using it near the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
It's non-linear. It's a story. That's where you get the Tarantino reference.
Yeah.
'Cause this film is very much like Pulp Fiction in the way that it's.
You said that with a straight face.
I did that for comical effect.
Oh, what part is it where he's hacking someone up and we get like a green screen arm?
Yeah.
I can't even remember what part
I have
that
no
is.
idea what part that is, but it totally happens.
It's a visual that's in my brain, and I have
think
no
it's when
idea
they're
what the
by
context
river.
is.
I think it's one of those early kills.
I know
Maybe.
he's
Early
not
on.
using a knife, and that's the strange thing because the arm flies off.
This is clearly an early video toaster kind of edit situation because he's doing those swirl effects.
Yeah,
and
there's
some-
lots of digital zooms.
Super cheap. Before it's I guess it might be before nonlinear editing. It's 91.
I don't know, the movie is pretty non-linear.
He took that term too literal.
Oh, boy.
You mean I have to make my film non-linear?
All right. It's the coming thing.
If you say so, then he still edits it tape to tape.
Maybe he just edited the movie in order of the scenes that were shot.
Well, yeah, okay.
Like you don't shoot a movie in order, so maybe he just edited in the order that he filmed the scenes, and that's why it doesn't make any sense.
That's a real good theory, and anything's possible.
It's the best theory we have.
Well, we should mention that Barry J. Gillis, he did a rough cut of this film back in the 90s when he made it, and it was not up to par. He did not think it was good enough, and that's why it didn't get released until now.
You know what? I give the man full credit for that.
He still made the movie, though.
And here it is now for us to see.
Yeah.
It's so rare. One of our favorite bad filmmakers is self-aware.
Well, I don't know how self-aware he is.
Mildly. Even the amount.
He thought Things was good enough to release.
Yes.
Murder is written all over your face.
I have possibly the most difficult question I have ever asked.
I know what it is.
What?
Which is worse? This or Things?
No.
No?
Oh, that's easy.
Which is more nonsensical, this or Demon Cop?
Ooh.
Demon Cop.
Is it?
It's very close.
Yeah, this feels like a movie that was made in its entirety by one person, unlike Demon Cop, which is a bunch of shit edited together. So this is a little more cohesive. A little bit.
But it doesn't end with a man in a rubber suit throwing around patio furniture.
No, this is not as entertaining as the last 20 minutes of Demon Cop. But which is worse, this or Things? And which is a hard one to say, because I think we all think Things is terrible, but some of us enjoy the terribleness of Things.
Oh boy, in order to answer that question properly, it's been a long time since I've seen Things. I would probably need to rewatch Things. So in order to avoid rewatching Things, I'm going to declare that this is worse.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm with Rich.
Yeah.
Things had a through storyline.
Yeah,
and motivation.
Dummies go to a cabin and there's ant monsters. Got it.
And they want to live.
Yeah.
And I am not trying to be a contrarian and doing, but I like this better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is much, and they're both nonsensical and they're both frustrating, but this has so many more different kinds of scenes, lots of different characters and locations and things going on and laughable moments. Things is all in that fucking house.
That's true.
And it's all dark and I hate Things.
Wicked World has...
I like Wicked World much more.
It has a lot going on.
Yeah.
It definitely kept us engaged because we were constantly trying to figure it out.
Yeah. There is no grading scale that can possibly make sense of this.
Yeah. Well, I know at the end of Things, the credit comes up that says you have just experienced Things. Yeah. And this is similar to that, where it's like, I don't know what the fuck happened, but it was an experience.
I'll be okay.
And a nice thing to note, and it's not really a nice thing, but you watch something like this, and you could think about how easily someone like Barry J. Gillis could make a movie about a slasher with a gas mask who just kills teenagers in the woods. But
a very generic, typical.
Yes, and he uses the context of the movie to get women to get naked in the shower and then we've all seen that.
Yeah.
But he's putting in some heavy philosophical ideas about society and violence and guns
attempts at social commentary.
And commentary and I mean
non-linear storytelling and
microchips.
Microchips.
It's a total and complete disaster. But the attempt was made to create art.
He tried hard.
He was trying to say something.
You go. Good job, Barry Gillis. Good job.
All right. Well, who wants to watch Things again now?
Wicked world, take me away.